Hello there, I'm Goldfire64, and I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of Games I Wish I Hadn't Paid Full Price For. In these videos, I'll be talking about games that just weren't worth it. Now, not all these games will be terrible, some of them will just be alright. The point is, these games are better off if you try and get them at a bargain. That being said, to start things off, I'd like to talk about the game that filled me with so much buyer's remorse that I went out of my way to make these videos. That game being Brink. Now, I'm sure some of you are saying, Goldfire, why would you even bother reviewing a game that's been released so long ago? Well, to that I have to say, don't ask questions. Brink was one of those games that initially went completely under my radar. I hadn't heard about it, and I hadn't heard of the studio making it. The group that made it are a company called Splash Damage. They have a very small list of games they worked on, but most notable of those was Enemy Territory Quake Wars. Now, I had a friend who was fond of that game, and he was the one to show me the trailer for Brink. Holy mother of Gandhi, did that hype me up. I always enjoyed objective-based shooters, especially ones where teamwork was key. That's sort of why I like the Battlefield games. Intel 3, cough, cough, cough. And never cared for standard old deathmatch in most games. Shoot stuff to death, boring. Escort those hoes and shoot stuff to death? Oh boy, here we go! So naturally, I was even more excited when I saw who was publishing it. Bethesda? Bethesda? Haha! That can't be bad. They've never put their name on something subpar. Oh, right. Either way, hype levels were at maximum. Cue release day of the 10th of May, 2011. So I'm sure you're wondering, what the hell is this game even about? Skating? No, because then it'd be called Ice Brink. Get it? Because skating. Brink takes place in the not-too-distant future where everyone lives in a utopian society. So we built the Ark, a giant floating self-sustaining man-made island paradise. Then we messed up the Earth worse than Link in a pottery store, and global warming set in. Soon everyone was thinking, hey, this Earth place sucks, but look over there, that Ark thing sure looks nice. So the Ark became flooded with refugees. Unfortunately, the Ark is only self-sustaining to a limit, and all the people were causing resources to be drained way too fast. So everyone on the Ark said, see ya, and floated the Ark out to sea where no one could reach it. Which is silly when you think about it. I mean, people still have boats, right? Think a boat could reach it. Did they load all the world's boats on the Ark and take them with them? You'd think if the world was flooded, there'd be more boats than before. And even if they took all the boats, it's not like people would have lost the secret to crafting and forget how to make boats. Take a log, hollow it out, bam, boat. I played RuneScape. I know how this works. Anyway, now the Ark is out in the middle of isolation and class warfare is a-brewin'. The people who lived on the Ark originally don't much like all the newcomers crowding onto their Ark, and the newcomers don't much like being forced to live in the slums, where shipping containers are your house. Things really heat up when Ark Security opens up positions in its enforcement division and says, hey, you want water and other nice things, like not having to live in a shipping container? Well, join us and put the smackdown on your poverty-stricken friends and family. This is how we get the two groups that make up the combatants in the game. In one corner we have the Resistance, led by Brother Chen. He is unhappy at the fact that the new refugees aren't treated as well as the founders, and he wants equality. Also, for some reason, he wants to make contact with the outside world again, which seems silly because they came to the Ark because they were all poo-pooing the world. On the other side, you have Ark Security, led by Captain Makona. He wants to preserve the Ark and not overstrain its resources. He also wants to stop the Resistance as he views their actions as terroristic, which, to be fair...
From this day, nothing will ever be the same!
Also, he doesn't want to make contact with the outside world, as he says that they sent agents to make contact with the world, and the world decided, hey, look at these guys, let's kill them. So, you are presented with both sides and told to pick one. This doesn't really affect anything other than your main menu, because your character will be used to play for both sides. Whichever side you pick, you're in for a lot of silly accents.
I need ammo! Ammo coming! Mucho bad guys spotted!
Soldier done!
Aside from their goals, both sides also dress differently. Security has actual clothes and some policey looking outfits. Yeah, that makes sense. They are basically the Ark's police. And the Resistance has... trash? Okay, I get that they're falling on hard times, but bottle shoes? Tire shoulders? What'd they do? Just look for trash and strap it on themselves? Here we go. Now I'm ready to fight the authorities. That being said, the Resistance definitely feels more interesting with its outfits than Security. At this point, I thought a tattoo would look cool on my Resistance outfit, and I discovered something. Because you play the same guy for both sides, apparently tattoos are permanent and also go across to both sides. Which means that cool anarchy face tattoo you put on your Resistance side will then look really stupid on the face of your Security officer. There are plenty of guns for you to pick and for your character to play around with. You've got your assault rifles, your shotguns, your pistols, your SMGs, and they have a decent amount of customization to them as well. You could stick stuff all over your guns. I mean, just look at this shield I have going on the front of this gun. Also, a neat thing is that the guns have a very dramatic look for each faction, even though they're the same gun with the same customization on it. Remember how I said Resistance definitely were more interesting with their outfits? Well, the same goes for the guns as well. But hey, the guns weren't supposed to be the draw to this game, the classes were. And before this game came out, I remember being hyped up as a big TF2 killer. So, what are the classes? Well, there's a grand total of 4. Well, alright, a small number of classes isn't bad. I mean, that just means more time and effort was put into each class, right? 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 The 4 classes here are Soldier, Engineer, Medic, and Operative. See, you were expecting me to say Spy, weren't you? Might as well have, because they're the same goddamn thing. Starting with the Soldier, they are your basic footmen. They get more ammo than the other classes, and this is reflected in that they can give ammo to the other classes. They also get more explosives than the other classes with Molotovs, flashbangs, frag grenades, napalm, and satchel charges. Next you have Medic, which, as I'm sure you guessed, heals your teammates. However, they are also the only class that can revive downed players and NPCs. They also can give their teammates nice little buffs. Next are Spies, Operative. They can hack objects and are the only class that can spot landmines for your team. And they can disguise themselves as the enemy. The catch here is you can only disguise yourself when an enemy is down. The disguise lasts until you touch an object or fire a gun. Operatives do get some of the more interesting abilities, however. They can put firewalls on command posts, making them take longer for the enemy to capture. They can also take control of enemy turrets and hack the communicators of a down enemy to reveal all of his teammates on the map. However, my favorite is the Cortex Bomb, which lets you jihad yourself when you're on the ground, with a bomb in your skull.
Stop them, brothers!
The last class is the Engineer. He gets landmines and turrets. That's literally it. Oh wait, I forgot. He can also buff his teammates' damage with it instead of building the useful mines and turrets. So, yay! And if there wasn't enough stuff for you to worry about for your character already, there's also body types. Light types can't use most of the guns and die the quickest, but they get parkour. Medium is your jack of all trades, but they can't use the biggest, heaviest guns. And heavy can use all the guns, but they move slow and can't climb up stuff. And I want to mention that even though I just mentioned all these cool options for your character, you do have to level up to get most of them. Which is easy enough because everything you do gives you XP, and if you're playing against the AI, they will always be the same level as you. So all in all, it doesn't sound like a bad game, right? Well, then you get to playing it. The game is objective based, which means one team defends different objectives and the other team attacks them. Now here's where the different classes are actually needed. Only soldiers can plant bombs on objectives to blow them up, only medics can revive NPCs that need escorting, only engineers can weld to fix or open things, and only the operative can hack into things. On the defensive side, engineers are used to freeze and disarm soldiers' explosives, and operators hack boxes when they're on objectives. And that's it. Defense only really needs engineers. I think you're starting to see the problem already. So, one team defends and the other attacks until either the attackers win or they run out of time. All the maps have multiple objectives the attacker must accomplish to progress, and most of them give the attacking team more time. Attackers will need a mixed team of the objective class and medics to keep them alive to get them to the objective. Defense just has to have the whole team playing engineer and put turrets everywhere. I wish I was kidding, but that's really problem number one, is that one side is way more powerful than the other. I mean, on attacking, the engineer class isn't useful because you can't set up a turret where it will help you. And you can't reliably set mines where an enemy will go because they aren't coming to it, they are defending. On the other side, here we have me as an engineer defending this objective all by myself with 2 mines and a turret. Even the AI can see how broken this advantage is. Here the AI has 3 engineers disarming the hack box I put up. I pretty much have lost all progress in the time it takes me to get back to the objective. And the funny thing is, they actually nerfed this. And speaking of hacking, which is something only the attackers ever have to do to win, hacking is one of the few instances where you have to stand around without a gun. Yeah, you have to push deep into enemy territory, and unlike the soldiers' explosives, you have to sit here and watch this little bar go up and hope no one shoots you. This wouldn't be so bad if you could rely on your teammates, but since they're all dying and respawning, and have such a long walk to get to you, this makes hacking so much more frustrating. If problem number 1 is that teams and even classes aren't balanced, then problem number 2 is the maps. I mean, the maps are nice to look at. We have future aquarium, future airport, future shopping district, future, jail. Kinda looks a lot like regular jail. I mean, they all look nice, but the problem isn't in the design, it's in the layout. Because all the maps boil down to the objective, you end up with a situation where every objective point becomes a bottleneck. A defense team of engineers only has to set up all their turrets, mines, and themselves in a small little area. Be it a little room, a hallway, a corner, all they have to do is dig in, and there is no way for the attackers to go anywhere but through them. Remember earlier how I was defending that objective by myself? Yeah, I had a mine on both doorways and then a turret in the room just in case. Now imagine if that was a whole team of human players. There's no way a player could get in there, put on a hack box, then put down their gun and watch the little bar go up. It's just not possible for them. Oftentimes, if the attackers get an objective, the game boils down to can they get to the next objective before the defense fortifies in. It's a shame because the maps have lots of paths to them, and even class-specific shortcuts or blockades. They just don't matter though because the objective area ends up as one of the most easily defensible points every time. I'm not saying having garbage maps automatically makes your game trash, but sure makes it feel clumsy as shit. The third problem here in our trilogy of problems is that the AI will work its hardest not to be helpful to you. Ever. The AI will almost always ignore the main objective to go after command posts. What are command posts? Oh, they are these way out of the way points on the map that take forever to take and increase your health by this tiny amount, or give you one more use of your items. And holy shit do they love command posts. Every second the announcer's going on about
Taken our command post. Recapture it.
I don't know if they think the damn things are filled with candy or something, but they will drop everything to go after them. This attitude can also be mirrored if you get downed. As I said before, you can lay there and wait for a medic, or you can respawn when the timer hits 0. And if you just sit there, hoo boy! You can watch as medic after medic runs aimlessly at you, only to die over and over again. It's sad that they just run headfirst into gunfire and don't even try and fight it. They're just so focused on saving you, and they hate to let you down.
I'm sorry.
The last thing the AI loves to fuck up is carryable objectives. Things like keys or a gas can, anything that needs to be delivered. They will pick these up and run headfirst into enemies' defenses. They will never wait for anyone to back them up or even try and help them. Then they will die and the defense team will reset the item, and then it's rinse and repeat until you just stand there and wait for the item to come back. Also, the AI has this silly bit of programming where they will only try their hardest within the last 2 minutes before they lose. Spent the last 10 minutes defending against a force that wasn't making any effort? Well, the last 30 seconds they're pushing in hard now. Haha! Looks like you gotta keep going for another 8 minutes. Now, I know what you're saying. If the AI is so bad, why not just go online and play with other players? Well, isn't that cute? But it's wrong! I first noticed this one time when I hit the online button and started playing. Very soon I got the feeling that everyone on my team was doing very poorly. Looked at the scoreboard and discovered a terrible surprise.
I am your father.
No! Also, I discovered everyone's a bot. Yeah, I hit online. The game didn't find anyone or an open game, so it threw its hands up and made me play with the AI anyways. And if you're in a game and there's empty spots, the AI will take them anyway, guaranteeing that command posts will always be chased. So, that's pretty much Brink. It was a solid premise with an interesting concept, that fell flat on its face when you combine a bunch of oversights that give it a pretty underwhelming experience. It quickly went on to be forgotten by many people, but not before they released an apology DLC for free. Oh man, you think they learned a lesson? Oh boy, 2 spots to defend that are separate floors from each other, making it interesting? Oh boy, oh, and then it's right back to narrow hallway you can fill with turrets. What other DLC is there? Oh boy, Doom, Fallout, both are great franchises with games I like. I wonder how they worked into. Oh, it's just shirts. Brink being a letdown is not a real big surprise at this point, but to have paid the full $60 for it, it really stings. They made an effort, but I don't feel like it was a full retail price worth of effort. Honestly, I feel like a fair price for this game is about 20 bucks, and it looks like Steam agrees with me. And even then, you could find used copies of this game in bargain bins for $5 or less in GameStops or other local game stores near you. Since I feel like this game is about worth $20 and you can find it for less than $5, that makes this a game I wish I hadn't paid full price for. Thank you for watching this first episode of Games I Wish I Hadn't Paid Full Price For. I promise that if you leave some feedback in the comments, I will read it and pay attention to it and hopefully work it into making this better and hopefully funnier. And I promise right now I'll get a capture card that's better and not garbage. So really, feedback is appreciated, so thanks.